This living lesson, like most of the living lessons that I record or have written, really have ministered to me maybe more than any of you or all of you combined, because God knows I need all the help and his guidance. And I want so much to be living each of these lessons that I'm learning during my very, very long, abundant life journey that is just amazing. Like most of you, I was on a restoration journey at first. But then when I really experienced my husband as my husband, not just as Lord or my best friend, how he started out, but actually my husband, everything changed. And my restoration journey, because we're all trying to restore something, most women want to restore a relationship of some kind. And most of the women who have come here came because of a relationship crisis, very often marriage. But regardless of how you came here or where you started your restoration journey, it's so important, and why we do all these living lessons and we post them and comment on them and share them, is because we want everybody to be living that abundant life. So this particular one is very interesting because I had no idea I had a problem with something until I saw it in someone else. Isn't that just like that one parable where it talks about, well, I don't know if it's a parable or example, but when it says take the speck out of your brother's eye, and then you can get that big log out of your eye. And it wasn't that I was really necessarily judging, but I just didn't see it in me. But it was during the time when I was ministering to my sister when she had health issues, and very concerned, as all of us would be if we were going to be facing something that could be definitely life altering, life ending, whatever, tests and surgery. And so during this time, she had so many concerns. What about this? Who's going to help me with this? But one of the first things she didn't want to do was to ask any of the family members where she lives by. She lives by some family, but she didn't want to ask any. No, she didn't want that help. She didn't want this. She didn't want this. And during all of it, now I live very far away and I can help her in some ways, like I had been doing by ministering to her, sharing her, devotionals, things like that. And she was easily accepting of those things. And even financially, I could help bless her with little treats and things that she may need, with this impending surgery and things. However, the physical, I couldn't do. I couldn't come and stay with her after her surgery or drive her there. I couldn't do any of those things. But what I was listening to, and then when I was asking my husband to help me to know how to minister to her, I shared how a situation where I didn't want to accept a gift from someone. And it really started out with that. I didn't want to accept something from someone who repeatedly was not kind, very unkind. I mean, they've been named all kinds of things now, abusive and all sorts of things, but I don't want to take it to that. We know that people are unkind, whether it's what they say or the way they act or what they do. They often are acting as a slave to the one who they're enslaved to. They're not being led by the Lord. They're not, they don't have it. There's just the flesh or something coming against them. But anyway, don't want to get off on how or why they react. But a lot of times they are repentive. They want to make it up to you. They want to give a gift. And just now I thought of back when I was first pregnant, and my former mother-in-law had suggested that maybe having our first baby was not the right thing to do, and started to suggest that I should just get an abortion. And I was horrified, of all people. I'm like the last person that you ever want to say that to, because I was a scheduled abortion. And I thank God that my mother and father said no, because it was for the health of the mother. And I am here today. And my mother lived, even though they said she would die, but she lived. She lived very old. Anyway, but because that was stated, I didn't want anything to do with her ever. I didn't want to accept anything. Well, she felt very badly after it. She wanted to make up, she wanted to make amends. And so one of the first things she did was go to this very chic maternity store and buy me a whole wardrobe of everything. And I accepted it. And I accepted it because I knew it wasn't for her necessarily. And it has nothing to do with helping her to feel better or not better. What my Lord at the time, he didn't, wasn't a heavenly husband to me, but what God, let's just say that, because all good things come from above. But what he wanted to do is to bless me with a whole wardrobe. And why not accept that? And over the years, that's happened where whoever it is has tried to make up by giving something to us, and we don't accept it. So now these are gifts, but what about accepting help? Like my sister, to be able to have somebody who drives her there or not. I explained to her, and this was definitely from my husband, who was speaking to me as I was asking him, help me know what to say, is just say thank you. If they offer, first they have to know. If you say don't tell anybody, let them know that that there's a need, or just what's going on, especially in this situation. And if they offer, then just say thank you. When I give a gift, rather than feeling guilty, I just want them to be grateful for it. And that also comes with the territory of overgiving. And I tend to be that way. And it's interesting, because I am so out of balance with giving so much or doing so much or helping so much. I am the worst at accepting. I don't accept his help. I don't accept his help coming from anyone else. It's very difficult for me to just accept it. And I have just gotten so much better ever since I ministered to my sister. And that's going to happen to each of you too, as you are ministering and needs come up and questions come up or issues come up. When you're ministering to someone else and you're thinking of that other person, and you speak to your husband while you're listening, saying, how can I help? What can I say? I don't know what to say. And don't assume you do, because trust me, you don't. I don't. I mean, maybe you're brighter than I am. Maybe you do, but I'm going to say you don't. He only has the answers. That's the only answer that you want. And so if you're asking him and then he tells you, and then you minister to this other person, then all of a sudden it's going to come and minister to you as well. And that's what happened. I started finding myself just saying, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you. Even recently in my Uber, sometimes the Uber driver gets out and opens my door to help me out. And we women have been conditioned as from the feminists to say, oh no, we can do it, or even be insulted, which for heaven's sakes, don't be insulted. Just know it's his hand that's reaching out to help you out, or his hand who's going to, I've changed so much that I've even handed I'll be carrying a heavier purse that, carrying some stuff, and I'll hand it to them and get out. I just don't even recognize myself. But I have to tell you that, along with being grateful to that person and very appreciative, because that's who God is using. That is who your husband has asked to do this for him. Be grateful to him, of course. Don't assume, well, it's not you. I don't think any of you could be like that, but just in case you're ministering to someone else, be grateful to the messenger who is bringing that, or the delivery person. But then remember who is sending it to you. And I'm going to tell you, it helped my sister so much to get through every single one of the needs that she had, every concern, every fear he took care of and provided it. She was so thankful, grateful, and she had her needs met. But at the same token, it taught me so much to accept his help. That's what it is coming from him. And if he sends a different messenger, be grateful to the messenger, but remember who sent it. And also, if it's a delivery person or someone to help, whether it's somebody who's cleaning when I get my place cleaned, I'm grateful to who sent it, and I'm going to accept it as that and not just keep saying no, 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 or that's okay, or I can do it. Just accepting help, because we can't be well balanced and we can't be givers and not be able to receive, and especially because of who we're receiving that help from. So I hope that this living lesson is something you'll really embrace. The best way to learn it, not only is living it, but ministering to someone. Ask your husband, is there someone who's really struggling with this? And don't go to preach about it. Go and confess your faults. Confess how it ministered to you and how you thought of yourself, but also in helping them as well. And just share, just boast about your own weaknesses. And let's just see how many women we can help with this one living lesson for them to live the abundant life. Thanks for listening.